I'm Van Sebastian here with my co-host S.A. Baz Collins for this week's Written on the Edge Season 10, Episode 16 interview. We'll be talking with Margaret Gardiner and discussing her novel Damaged Beauty Joey Superstar. So let's get to know our guest. Model, speaker, panelist, host, journalist, and author, Margaret Gardiner became an international cover girl at 16, Miss Universe at 18, and ultimately the fashion editor at GoldenGlobes.com. She's worked with A-list stars from Angelina Jolie to Zendaya. She knows what it is like to be on the red carpet, in the spotlight, and what goes on behind the scenes. With her degree in psychology and a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion, her debut novel is for every woman who has ever been made to feel less. Margaret, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. May I also say it's for every person who's ever been made to feel less.
Sure,
Thank,
absolutely.
thank you for that correction. I will
Hmm.
actually make that update for our site too. So, you've led a very full career. Why did you put pen to paper? Because that's so vastly different from everything else I just discussed.
Actually, I started writing when I was quite young. I decided around the age of 13 to read the Bible from front to back. And
Wow.
when you get to Revelations, it's pretty deep. And that provoked poetry. So my first poetry was published around the age of 16.
Nice.
Always wanted to write. I'm a deep thinker. I like to understand why people do what they do. And I'm fascinated because of my experience in modeling and beauty with image
Hmm.
versus reality. So that's all of it.
Awesome.
Oh, especially in this
So,
day and age when all of that is in question with the anti or disinformation, fake news. Yeah, that's almost an uphill battle, in this climate.
Well, it's also really interesting that, influencers have this perfect image when followers look at them. But in reality, a lot of the image is manipulated.
Mm,
So
mm,
people who want to emulate them have this feeling that they have to be perfect. And that's one of the reasons that I created this character, Joey Superstar, because everybody says she's unlikable in the beginning. And I've got to say, the first chapter, she has a bit of almost like what the average person would say, a nervous breakdown. Um,
okay.
she has a disconnect and she acts out. And for me, if I see somebody acting out, I immediately feel sympathetic towards them, but the reader doesn't have that reaction. They feel
Right.
quite disengaged. And then as the story unpacks, you realize, oh my goodness, she's doing this because of that. And you start to identify with her. And readers say, despite it being set in the beauty and modeling world, which most people have zero interest in, um, they they start, okay, I have to read this book. And then they dive in and they say they can't put it down. They want to get in and tell her, don't do this. Please take the other road. And by the end, they love her. So I hope that that trend continues with readers. Even if you're not interested, give it a chance.
Well, so to that point, I mean, you say that sometimes people aren't interested in that world, but movies like Devil Wears Prada were a hit for a reason. It is a look into that world that you're providing, and it's a
hmm
world that we sort of subliminally know exists, but we don't know anything about. And
It's
you're pulling back the curtain.
It's hilarious that you say that. I set out to write a Devil Wears Prada kind of book.
Yeah?
Then Joey took center stage and she did things. I went, oh, I shouldn't be writing about this. She's got this voice that just demands to be heard. And
Hmm.
it's also, you see people like Britney Spears, and you go, this woman is so talented. She seems to be struggling. What's going on? You know,
Mm-hmm.
fame is supposed to be your sponge for bad things, but they don't examine what it's like to be in the spotlight, to have people say these horrendous things to you, and to have people want the sizzle, but not who you really are. They want the photo, then it's, oh, there's somebody else. They want that photo, and poof, you're gone. So it unpeels a lot of the psychological aspects of what being in the spotlight means.
Right. So when Joey started her career, how much of it was managed and controlled by people around her? Because I'm trying to get at the root of why she started acting out.
Well, if you read the book, you'll understand that I believe that we meet people where they are in their life arc, but they are created like a puzzle from pieces of experiences that happen to them. So as you unpack this woman who's 27, or
Hmm.
considered too old for a model,
Mm-hmm.
6 feet tall, 128 pounds,
Mm.
and considered too big for a model. She has a past that she was encouraged not to speak up, not to challenge people, not to speak truth, and to please. And a lot of women are taught to be ladies. You don't ask, you don't challenge.
Mm-hmm.
You present a nice girl. Nice girls don't say,
Mm-hmm.
don't, don't cross the line. No, we usually don't say no. And all of these little backstories have formed Joey. And she's now at a place where she's beginning to understand that what she does doesn't serve her. This is actually the first in a series of 3 books
Oh,
about
cool.
good girls who play nice, get damaged, and then fight back.
So in the middle of this, Joey has an awakening too.
Yes, so we meet her. She's um, just had a miscarriage. She's married to Italian aristocracy, and he is trying to jettison her, um, and for reduced alimony is playing mental games with her. He's got a parade of women who look just like her, who he's sleeping with, who he brings into their circle. And she's like, what's going on? And then he replaces them with one after the other. He ignores her when she talks. He plays really awful psychological games with her. And she has a breakdown. And he puts her in an institution for reduced alimony. And while she's there, she starts to realize that the tools that she's used are harming her, are damaging her. So the title, Damaged Beauty, is not only a beauty who is damaged, but a woman who self-damages because the coping tools don't work. So
Right.
Damaged Beauty, Joey Superstar. That's the focus of this book. And then we've got 2 other books with the same characters, but focusing on different women and hearing what their arcs are.
Perfect. All right. Baz, did you have any questions?
Yeah, well, I think it's very timely because what I've noticed, like in the YouTube sphere, I'm seeing a number of people who are professional models. They've put up channels and stuff that talk about it from a mental health kind of perspective and how, even like male models they go through a lot that people don't realize. They get sexually harassed. They're, these things pile up. You're being told you're beautiful, but at the same time, it makes you feel disposable. And I think it's really timely that you're doing something like this, because it's important that we understand that while beauty is a standard many hold in high regard, there are prices to pay because it is often exploited at the expense of the person who's being lauded. And nobody really wants to hear about that part of it from them. Oh, no, because that damages the image, the percep. I write about perceptions because I think perceptions are what really govern everything we do, and we have no way of thinking about, well, is this the right perception? Am I right in this? We just pursue our lives with these built up perceptions from our own experiences and the experiences of our close ones. But at the same time, we don't really examine ourselves. So I often say, with your, focus on psychology with DEI, I say there's another DEI, which is dignity, integrity, and dignity, empathy, and introspection, which is one of the things I think people need to cultivate a bit more. They need to be respectful of themselves and say, wait a minute, I don't have to put up with this, right?
Exactly. We have to draw boundaries. So an interesting thing that everybody celebrates Kate Moss from
Mm-hmm.
the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
What most people don't realize is, so she was 17 years old, appearing naked on billboards in the world's capital, just like Joey Superstar. Recently, she came out and said that she had um, emotional baggage from that time because of the way she was treated. You're very, very young. You don't know what is okay to do. And people are always telling you, oh, do this, do that. That's your job. So you can land up in difficult places.
Mm.
And if you don't know, it's okay to say, look, this makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to do it. That's your right. That's your right as a
Mm-hmm.
human, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what. Um, and Joey's dealing with not being heard. People like to look at beautiful women. They don't necessarily like to listen to them. You usually like an object.
Mm.
People people want to be around you, but this phrase, "Oh, she's beautiful and smart too." Um,
Right, right.
like, what's that backhanded compliment really about? And one of the things that when Joey was young, her mother groomed her not to speak out um, and to be silenced. And she falls in love with another model who happens to be a woman. And one of the reasons that she falls in love is because here is somebody who listens to her
Right. Who sees her?
and sees her
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And uh, the other woman, um, it's the 1980s, and she has ambitions. And she comes from a background where she doesn't feel like she can stand up and be accepted. And so she hides her love. And so once again, Joey's off kilter. Her natural instinct is to connect with this woman who she has had a passionate love affair with, but that's been kept in the dark. So Joey's not allowed to self-actualize, to be who she is, because all the people around her are suppressing who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And yet she's on billboards with people going, oh, that's who we want to be. But the image and the reality, I think a lot of us have to go out there in the world and be who we maybe aren't 100% for work, for friends. We wear different hats. We show different parts of our personality. But it's so vital to bring who we are to our relationships, to our adventures, so people can love the real person and you can be accepted for who you are. I mean, I'm a klutz. I will fall downstairs. I'm usually the woman wearing white, looking elegant, with just a little bit of coffee on me, or a bit of, that's who I am. I try to be my best me, but I'm always leaking my inside. I'm okay with that. I'm not perfect. And I think people who pretend to be perfect are falling apart inside.
Mm.
And more and more, we're starting to go, hey, those imperfections are the things that make you interesting.
I also think because, I'm part Native, and one of the things that I like about Native culture is, and this is a very broad brush, but to a great extent, a lot of the Native cultures here, they will create something, and in it, they will often craft an imperfection because it's their way of acknowledging in their art that humans are fallible. Everything is not always perfect. And I think one of the things that makes us each, for lack of a better term, a snowflake or what have you, is that we have these flaws and faults, and as well as the good things, the beauty, all of those things. And I think it's interesting because now we're entering a phase, like even on YouTube and social media, be your authentic self. The fact that people have to be told that is really, really almost frightening. It's like, well, yeah, uh, be yourself, but people have, like you said, strive to be absolute perfection with all this renting of fake sets and stuff and houses and, all of the, money blasting out, which, you can buy for $14 on Amazon, so it gets ridiculous how much energy and effort it takes. And I think eventually that's what breaks down a lot of these influencers. Don't you think that the constant having to reinvent and repurpose that image really does take a toll?
So that's a fascinating point. Joey Superstar takes place in New York and Los Angeles, on red carpets, glamour places with the glitterati. It's the life I live. So I know it very well.
Mm-hmm.
I know it in front of the camera and I know it behind the camera. The thing about pretense is that it takes effort. And what happens when you're in the spotlight and you feel uncomfortable? You don't feel like you. Imagine you going out to a big event and the outfit they've given you or that you decide to wear, when you get there, you realize, oh my goodness, it's off. It affects how you interact with people. Now, this book is about what people do when they cope. How do you hide? What do you do when you hide? Um, is it an effective tool, or can everybody look at it and go, she's off? Joey uses sex and exuberant behavior to hide her insecurities. She gets there before anybody else can. She's on the red carpet and everybody is looking at her because of what she's doing. Now, what she's doing, is it because she wants to, or because she thinks it's going to absorb the spotlight? And so we get to see how the world sees her, and then we get to hear her inner dialogue. And that dichotomy, I think, is really interesting. We've gotten a situation where she's interviewed by one of the top fashion magazines, and she's also doing a fashion shoot. and they start to chip away at her veneer. And what does she do? How does she cope? She's out there, she's shooting a cover. She looks fantastic, but they're asking questions that are making her crumble. What do you do when you start to crumble in public? You know, it's interesting. I think so.
Oh, it's fascinating.
I would say.
So, is there anything about Damaged Beauty, Joey Superstar, that you want the world to know that we didn't think to ask you?
Oh my goodness. So my book, Damaged Beauty,
Look at that cover.
you know, I chose this cover because it's like a cover of a magazine. It's a head and shoulder shot. She's beautiful, but when you look closely, something is off. And that's what the story is about. It's a fast read. People say that once they get over their initial dislike of her, they stay up all night reading. So it's a fast read. It's unexpected. There's a mystery in it. There's something that I've planted that you may have to read the book twice to see what you've missed. And it's fun. We've talked about the dark aspects of this story, but it's also a ride along the high life, the parties, it's enjoyable. And there's some wonderful lines in it that you may be able to start saying to other people that will become like a shorthand. I hope so.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, is she the person that he makes her out to be?
Ooh.
You know, because so often people say things about you or they give you a label. And do you want to be that person or do you want to be somebody totally different?
Love it. All right. Are you ready for our get to know you questions?
Oh my goodness, I didn't know this. Yes.
Take it away, Bess.
Okay, before we get to that, just wanted to say quickly, if you're enjoying the content that we're doing here, please like and subscribe and tell your friends about it. Share us on your social media platforms. Also, if you want to help support us and help keep the lights on, you can go to patreon.com/@ropepodcast and help us out there, or go to buymeacoffee.com/ropepodcast. So with that in mind, let's wander into the weeds. All right. Can you name a movie that was better than the book?
Oh, Ripley.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice choice.
nice.
Because for two reasons. I like the movie because visually, the words created the characters, but the visuals really stunning. And then when they redid it as a series on Netflix, oh my goodness, I just love that. It sucked me in. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. Excellent choice. All right. Which fictional character would you most like to be friends with?
Oh, Bridget Jones.
Nice.
I mean, I do all of her things. I told you already.
Hey.
I'm, I'm the one unraveling. I love chocolate. I usually think I'm in there rescuing, and everybody else is going, oh, no. Yes, Bridget Jones.
There you go. There you go. I'm totally down with that. Okay. What is the most fascinating fact that you know?
Oh my goodness. Fact. Well, when you jump out of a plane, parachute, your cheeks flap because our skin is not like super tight, and the air is coming at you and your skin wobbles like a wave. So when you parachute out of a plane, keep your face tight. You'll look better.
I love that. Okay. All right. Well, what's your favorite subject in school?
Oh, I had so many. I loved history because
Mm,
I think that where we've been determines where we're going. And if we learn the lessons of our past, we can make our future better.
Mm-hmm. All right. So before making a telephone call, do you rehearse what you're going to say?
Oh, gosh, no. Um,
You're like me. I don't either.
well, I guess it depends, right? I tend to be in the moment and I'm very other focused. So that's why I'm like Bridget Jones. I'll end up saying the unexpected and often inappropriate thing.
Yeah, excellent. All right. Love
No
that.
rehearsal required.
Right. Okay. What current event or causes are you most passionate about?
I really believe that DEI is important.
Mm.
And I'll tell you why. Um, I think that not everybody is born with an equal chance. And there are lots of labels placed on us without understanding the challenges those labels hold you back, the way they hold you back. And so I think that giving people an equal opportunity to succeed is super important.
Right. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. All right. If you could visit anywhere in the world, where would that be?
So I've been lots of places. I used to travel 100,000 miles a year.
Wow.
So, yeah, a
I
lot.
want your flyer miles.
I must say that I'm from South Africa. So if you've never been, it's a whole world in one place. They have mountains, beauty, wildlife. Um, it's really one of the most beautiful places in the world. But I also want to go to Iceland. I've never been.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right. Well, who, if anyone, was your first celebrity crush? Uh-oh.
You know, um, this is awful. I I tend, because I don't project on people,
Mm-hmm.
I've never really had a crush on people. I tend to like fall in love with minds. If
Mm.
somebody can teach me something, I'm theirs. So if I have a fascinating conversation, so okay, people that I've had really great conversations with. George Clooney, not because of the way he looks. The man is funny. He's real. He takes care of people. Angelina Jolie, same thing. She always knows to save a little private story for the journalist, so you don't have the same story repeated endlessly.
Mm.
She's gorgeous to look at. Your brain shuts down because you're like, oh my goodness, she's just beautiful. Zendaya is like that as well. Unexpected, fresh. She tells you stories like, oh, I left my shoes on the floor. You know, real things. I like real people, so I tend not to have crushes on people that are unobtainable.
Oh, love that. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, finally, what's your personal favorite recipe that you make, and are you willing to share it with others?
Look at that smile.
So I love to cook, okay? But there is this dish I like. First of all, I have a sweet tooth. I like litchis. What do you call them here?
The Asian fruit, right? The
Yes,
little white one? Yeah,
yes.
the
Yeah,
lychees
lychee.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, lychees, lychees, lychees. So I like to shell them, depup them, um, take fresh cherries, soak it in your favorite alcohol, um, like a liqueur.
Mm-hmm.
So they get like a little zesty flavor. And then you stuff them into the lychee,
Ooh,
serve them, so that when you bite it, there's an explosion in your mouth.
that
Of
sounds
That sounds
amazing.
marvelous. Yeah, that sounds marvelous.
yeah. So that's a Margaret Gardiner
Oh,
special.
well, there we go. There we go.
Love
And
it.
with that, you've completed the list. So Bravo.
Bravo.
Thank you.
So you've teased us about two more books. Do you want to talk about them, or is it too early?
Oh, that's so nice of you. So I actually, as I said, I started to write The Devil Wears Prada. It's
Mhm.
about women who start off in the modeling world at a really young age. The first book is called The Corruption of Charlie Cross. It's a fish
Ooh.
out of water coming of age story. It's about a young African girl who arrives in Paris and how she's corrupted by not having any exposure to the things that people in the modeling world consider normal. So she meets this group of women. Joey Superstar is one of them. The woman that Joey Superstar is in love with is another of them. The story was supposed to be about Charlie Cross. Joey refused to be moved to the edge. She decided she wants to be in the first book. So the second book is a look back on how these women came together.
Okay.
And the final book is called Plastic Paradise. And it's these women 10 years later, where they are in life, who they are, who they've become. And we then focus on one of the side characters who's now on a television show. She's on a quest to become a movie star. And there is a man that everyone's going to fall in love with. He is an A-list movie star actor who helps her and opens doors for her and wants her. And she wants another guy who's totally wrong for her, who they have sex in all the wrong places.
Oh no.
And she just can't leave this guy alone while there's this perfect man rescuing her, helping her, leading her. It's going to make a great movie.
I love it. So which social media site is the best place for people to follow you to get updates on these projects?
Thank you so much for asking. Margaret Gardiner, it's Margaret _Gardiner on Instagram. You'll see me on the red carpet. You'll see me interviewing movie stars, A-listers. You'll see me attending fashion shows, Chanel, Dior. You'll also see me being interviewed, covers, television, and I will be showing this interview on my YouTube channel. So look for it and we'll follow each other.
Yes, we will.
Love it.
All right, Margaret, do you have any final words of wisdom?
Yeah. Go outside your comfort zone. By Damaged Beauty, Joey Superstar. But really, my main message is love yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Be your best you and watch. Others will love you just as you are.
That is beautiful.
That part.
All right, folks, we'd like to extend a huge thank you to Margaret Gardiner for taking time out of her schedule to join us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast. Excuse my soft voice. It's 8 a.m. where I am. I usually sound much better.
Well, thank you for getting up at the crack of dawn to talk to us.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's been our pleasure. All right, folks, we at Written on the Edge are proud to introduce you to new media by all content creators who enjoy a little bit of queer character once in a while. So if you enjoy learning about new artists or hearing our thoughts on entertainment media, please like and subscribe so you get the alerts for new episodes. The show was produced by Rogue Ravens Media. For our disclaimers, links to social media, our listen stations, or to sign up as a guest, visit www.roguepodcast.com. Tune in next week for your new media fix.
Bye now. There you go.
That was awesome.
Oh, what's that? Closing time. bum's rush and melody, dear.